Just a couple minutes to go before the first bout of this morning, the second day of Quad City Chaos in Toronto. I'm single malt Scott McIver.
I'm the Derby Nerd. Sorry for my delay.
Unacceptable.
Still reeling and still recovering from last night's game between Montreal's new Skids on the block and Toronto CN Power. I've not fully recovered from that bout, but what a fantastic game to end the first day of the Quad City Chaos. And we have a similar matchup here to start day 2 of the Quad City Chaos.
The Toronto Bay Street Bruisers playing the Montreal Sexpos.
This is the B team counterparts of the A team game we saw last night. That ended with a 17-point victory for the new Skids on the block. But an impressive performance. These two teams have met once. They met last August here at the bunker as well, and that game was won by the Bay Street Bruisers, but it was a narrow victory, about a 60-point victory when it was all said and done. But both of these teams have gone through quite a shift. They've lost skaters who've graduated up to the A level. They've brought in a lot of new, fresh blood. Yeah, and this could be as good, if not better, than last night's game.
Yeah, as it is with B teams, it's often difficult to keep a solid roster from one year to the next.
Yeah.
So every time the teams like this meet, it's a little bit different than it was last time. Montreal has a few skaters that were previously new Skids on the block that are now playing for this Expos. Lady J and Trash and Smash you're going to see today.
That's right.
Ohio has also worn neon before.
That's right. Same thing with the Bruisers. There are a few skaters like Chronic, who has skated for CN Power. She may be the only skater playing today who has done so. Well, who are some of the fresh faces that are new to the Sexpos roster this year?
Hot Cross Guns, recent transfer, comes to Montreal, is playing for, I believe, her first game for the Sexpos now. A couple other rookies. Clara O'Kee has just started playing roller derby this season, is playing for the Sexpos. Played her first 2 bouts a few weeks ago in Montreal's round robin season kickoff for the home league there. Justin Powers, also a newer skater, played last season for the home team in Montreal for the Contrabanditas and has joined the Sexpos.
And we are actually underway on the track. And speaking of new skaters, Sneaky D, rookie for the Bay Street Bruisers, out there to jam number 21 in the blue. But she is facing that Trash and Smash, the skater you just mentioned, a longtime member of the Skids, and she, I have a feeling, will have a big impact on this game. And Ohio became the first lead jammer. Ohio coming through, picking up points now. Oh, but knocked out at the very last minute by Chronic. Actually, she didn't clear the pack. I thought she'd cleared the pack. She hadn't. So that means lead jammer goes to Sneaky D. Nice defense from both of these teams to get this game started.
Ohio's also completed her initial pass.
Oh, and Sneaky D getting called on a back block as she came in hot to that pack, hit that wall hard, split them, and gets called for the back block. But Ohio having a hard time getting past Misery May. Misery May and Chronic taking turns and recycling the Sexpos jammer.
Ohio, a skater for Montreal, has been here for a few years, has changed her derby name a few times. Previously skated under Ira Crass.
Oh, okay.
It was a case of where her nickname in life took over. Everyone just called her Ohio, and she just gave in.
She has played with the Skid. She played against Windy City last year in Chicago in the UIC Pavilion, so she does have some experience playing at a very, very high level. And once again, we're seeing, just like the game last night between these A teams, this is a very similar start. Toronto a little shaky at the beginning. A big shoulder to sternum hit from Misery May slows Ohio down. Also saw some punishing defense and power kills last night, and we're seeing that here as well. But Ohio picks up another 5 points. Montreal out to an early 15-0 lead. Sneaky D, generally a clean skater. That was an uncharacteristic back block. We'll see how Toronto recovers. Flying Brian Kilman, the bench coach for the Bay Street Bruisers, heading to the middle. He didn't like that call. I'm going to assume, I worked with Brian on a bench for a few years, and I know he's talking to the jam refs about it, and you can see Senor Wiener from the Queen City Roller Girls giving the explanation. All right, back on the line.
Hot Cross Guns is going to be jamming.
Fans of Southern Ontario Roller Derby will recognize Hot Cross Guns from her time with the Royal City Roller Girls. She's a phenomenal talent, It's great to see her here in Montreal, and she's already picked up her first lead jammer.
Yeah, made it through the pack before crossing the pivot line, so found a nice little gap there. Sneaky D out of the penalty box.
Making up a lot of track quickly. Sneaky D is an incredibly fast skater. Very similar style to Hot Cross Guns. I would like to see these two matched up this game, see what they can do against each other. Hot Cross Guns trying to get through on the outside. Very quickly moves to the inside, evades a nice evasive hit against from Android WK. Sneaky D, though, also coming up back into the pack. Honey Boom Boom trying to hold back Lady J, another very experienced Sexpos skater. Sneaky D finally gets through the front of the pack, past Magnum PEI, and picked up some points. This is a strategy we saw employed a lot by Montreal last night as well at the A team, allowing the jams to continue, and both teams to pick up lots of points.
She's being waved on again. Looks to the bench. Tilu also coaching. I think this is her first bout coaching.
I just noticed that Tilu is on the bench, former Skid.
Taking a retirement, did not skate last season. Has been come back into the fold for Montreal Roller Derby.
Hot Cross Guns coming around again. Again, both of these jammers putting up a lot of points in this jam. Not too much is going to change on the differential on the board when this one comes to its conclusion in about 30 seconds. Sneaky D again being called on a back block major. As I mentioned, she's generally a very clean skater. First time I've seen her get called on those back-to-back back blocks. So adjustments are going to be needed to be made for the Bay Street Bruisers to get back in this game.
Only a few seconds left in this jam. Looks like Montreal is content to let it run the full 2 minutes.
Hot Cross Guns going into the back of Tushy Galore at the end of that jam. So pretty even so far, aside from the back-to-back jammer penalties.
Swing Labacaz lined up at the jam line for the Sexpos.
4-3 pack advantage for the Bay Street Bruisers in blue. Sexpos do have the back line, Trash and Smash guarding the inside. And they're just going to go back and let Swing Labacaz do the work. Nice defense, though, here. 747 is the center of that wall. That is Machu Picchu working very nicely with Robert Blind. Held all together by Chronic. They take her down at the pivot line. She's quickly back up. Again, fighting through finally with one to beat. Gets through, and she is your lead jammer. Nice work.
All four blockers.
Nice defense, though, that did kill a lot of clock. Almost 25 seconds it took her to get through that wall. Knocking to the inside very quickly. Nice move by Machu Picchu, the recent transfer from Halifax Roller Derby Association, off to a great start with her career here in Torrid.
She had a really good game yesterday, too, against Ohio's Gangrene.
Once again, a tight V3 wall up at the front. Swing Labacaz now working on Robert Blind at turn 2.
Working at the back of the pack. They've trapped Sneaky D as best as they can. And just as I say it, she sneaks her way through the pack. It completes her initial pass.
Sneaky D is an explosive skater. She can make up a lot of track quickly. Swing Labacaz is going to want to keep aware of where she is, and very quickly through on the outside of turn number 2, and now in for a scoring pass. So once again, Montreal allowing both teams to accumulate points. Trash and Smash with the last line of defense against Sneaky D holds her back. She does get through. Multiplayer block called.
Russian Croulette heading to the box on that one. Both teams pick up 4 points as the jam ends.
So 47-14 now, 6.5 minutes into this first half. The Montreal Sexpos nursing a little bit of a lead. Let's see if the Bruisers can make those adjustments. 2 power jams are the sole difference, I would say, so far in this in the early goings.
Yeah, this is going to be the first time that the Bruisers have been able to change their jammer, and we're already 7 minutes
right.
into the bout. So.
And it will be Belfast, 5-6-7-8, co-captain of the Bay Street Bruisers.
Skating against Justin Powers for the Sexpos.
And Justin Powers able to sneak around the outside. She is your lead jammer, so the third lead jammer picked up now in a row for the Sexpos. The Belfast is out, but she's got about a half a track to make up.
Beth Rav for the Sexpos sent to the box for a clockwise block.
So pretty significant pack advantage right now. Jess with a nice move to push the jammer to the outside. She's forced to call it off as Belfast sneaks in, and she did steal just the 3 points stolen for Belfast, so 3-1 jam for the Bruisers. So Just 2 on the track now for the Sexpos, Ohio and Trash and Smash. I guess if you're just going to have 2, might as well be those 2.
Swing Lebac has jamming for them.
And that is Chevy Chaser, number 7 in the blue for the Bay Street Bruisers. And Chevy Chaser very quickly to the outside. She's got Trash and Smash to beat now as she comes up to turn number 2. Jukes out, comes in, and she is your lead jammer. First one picked up for the Bay Street Bruisers. Or second lead jammer picked up. Sneaky D lost her status when she went to the penalty box. A nice clean pass for Chevy Chaser. Snuck through like a ghost, was untouched.
More penalty trouble for Montreal blockers. Looks like Ohio was sent to the penalty box. Trash and Smash is by herself out there.
This is the first game in many years. Not the first game ever in the Sexpos jersey for Trash and Smash, but it's been a long time that she's worn the Sexpos jersey.
A year and a half. She played 1 bout in Vermont.
Okay. It's not too long.
No.
18 months. Yeah. Hot cross guns out there. Lexicon getting her first action of the weekend for the Bay Street Bruisers. She was a big pickup at the end of last season for this B team.
The lone blockers for Montreal, Gunmal Mindy and Clara O'Kee.
Gunmal Mindy, a longtime veteran of the sport, began her career here in Southern Ontario for the Tri-City Roller Girls, now Tri-City Roller Derby. Another lead, though, picked up for the Bruisers, and Lexicon already coming back on her scoring pass. Hot cross guns having a hard time getting past a 3-wall up front. Oh, and a nice move by Gunmal Mindy to come around the front of the pack and hit Lexicon, but she's very quickly on her feet and through. No worse for wear. 5 points picked up for the Bay Street Bruisers. And Hot Cross Guns is heading to the penalty box on a cutting first power jam opportunity for the home team, and they are already making a run of it now, down by 17 points.
Mindy and Clara working hard with Beth Rav to stop the jammer. Pack gets too spread out and they've got to let her go.
Lexicon ended up being one of the Bay Street Bruisers' leading scoring jammers last year, certainly on a jam-per-jam basis. So she's a big addition to this roster today. Oh, a nice hit from Beth Rav. Throws Lexicon to the inside.
Beth Rav was stopped by the Bay Street Bruisers blockers from backing up too far.
All 4 Bruisers on the track right now. Ohio with a nice hit. Nice work with Clara O'Kee to try and slow Lexicon down. Lexicon knocked out, but a very quick re-entry. Finally able to break through the 2-wall, stays on her feet, and gets through for another 5-point pickup. We have ourselves a 7-point game. Already, Scott, this is starting to turn into very much a mirror image of the game we saw last night. Trading power jams.
And employing the same strategy, playing the same way. It's
yep.
just the colors of the uniforms a little bit different from this one. That's it. And time runs out on that jam.
Both these teams are mirror images of their A-team counterparts. A little less experienced, perhaps. But yeah, you're right. The same strategies, same style of play being employed.
Only 6 points separating the two of them now. Again, lots of long jams so far in this first period. We're just lining up now for the 6th jam of the bout.
11:15 in. Right. Swing Labakais, number 74 in the white for the Sexpos, and it is Belfast, number 5, 6, 7, 8 in the blue for the Bruisers, and already the defensive walls are split. Belfast working up at the front, gets knocked out of bounds, dragged back by Trash and Smash. And lead jammer goes to Swing Labakais.
2 skaters heading to the penalty box. Both of them called for out of play, both in different sections of the pack when it got split up.
Labakais is through, but Belfast also trying to follow her through, and she does get through. 5 points already picked up for Montreal, and they're going to call it off this time. Did notice that with the Sexpos, or the Skids last night as well. Whenever the game got a little tighter, they were a little less willing to have those 2-minute kind of free-for-all jams, and we're seeing that again here with the Sexpos. Chevy Chaser back on the line, and Beth Rav getting her first opportunity with the Sarah for the Sexpos. She can be a pretty devastating jammer.
I really like watching her skate. She has a very relaxed stride. Looks very natural out there. Not your prototype for a jammer, but also very talented and able to push her way through.
Yeah, and there it is. You're seeing it. Both of these, actually, Beth Rav and Chevy Chaser, are both beautiful skaters. Oh, but back block being called on Beth Rav. We've seen these jam refs keeping an eye out for back blocks. This is the third jammer to head to the penalty box on a back block call. So power jams are now even, 2 apiece for the Bruisers and the Sexpos. Let's see what Chevy Chaser and her blocking counterparts can do.
Alcatraz and Magnum PEI working on her at the front of the pack.
Nice job by Chevy Chaser, small in stature, but plays big. And again, I think it's that comfort on skates that allows her to do so. Former figure skater. Honey Boom Boom Jess allowing her to go it alone. Gets knocked to the inside, dragged back.
Android WK sent to the penalty box on a back block.
Another back block is the trend of this game so far. Machu Picchu, though, back out on the track, working with Honey Boom Boom and Jess. Looking for a little bit of a trap.
It's another grand slam for the Bay Street Bruisers. The point difference is only 1 point now.
As we near the halfway point, it is a 1-point difference. And Chevy Chaser looking to mix things up. Passes off to Machu Picchu. We saw Machu Picchu take the star a few times yesterday as well against Ohio. Beth Rav back on the track. Honey Boom Boom Jess lining up the defense at the back. And there's that strength from Beth Rav, just pushing Honey Boom Boom up the inside line. But nice work from Honey Boom Boom, relentless, but has to eventually let her go.
A forearm penalty called on Sneaky Devil sends her to the box.
Lady J and Magnum PI working very nicely with Alcatraz. Strange to see Lady J in a Sexpos uniform. So
long time member of the Skids.
Yes. And began her career as Fidois.
Yes.
Correct. Yes. Sneaky D, number 21, back out on the line. She's picked up 2 penalties so far tonight, both back blocks.
Sneaky Devil, the skater in the penalty box.
Number 74, Swing La Baca, is back on the line for the Sexpos. 4-3 pack advantage, a minor pack advantage for the Bruisers.
Swing La Baca joue pour les Contrabandites à Montréal dans son deuxième année avec la Ligue de Montréal.
I think all the members from both of these teams play in the house leagues. Is that correct? Or there's still some of the Sexpos who do not?
Trash and Smash and Lady J do not play for their home teams right now. I'm not 100% sure about Ohio or Beth Rav either. Trash and Smash and Lady J let go of their spots a couple years ago when all of the Skids left the home teams to focus on the travel team play. And I don't think they have gone back to play in the home league.
Got a league change. First one of the game, just past the midway point of the first half of this opening game of the second day of the 2014 Quad City Chaos, and the Toronto Bay Street Bruisers have just pulled ahead for the first time, 58-57. Now that power jams are even, we are seeing how equal these two teams are.
And they both got to be feeling a little bit of pressure from their leagues to take this one home too. It is not just an exhibition game where these two teams are concerned. They both really, really do want to win.
Lexicon is your lead jammer, a massive Gunwale Mindy facing off against her. Oh, and she went for the hit. Lexicon, though, able to stay up, calls it off, picks up all the points. So the Bay Street Bruisers slipping up to a 5-point lead now. Should say, they're lining up on the 1234 jam line.
Yeah. Based in Peterborough, Ontario, the 1234 Skate Company is owned and operated by Tord co-founder and former Death Track doll Lucid Lou, and serves the 705 area code. In addition to gear, 1234 also offers skate maintenance, classes, training, and league launch parties. Be sure to check them out at 1234skateco.com.
Ohio out there, number 0 to jam against Belfast for the Bay Street Bruisers. Belfast now working against Clara O'Kee at the front of that pack. She breaks her way through. Another lead jammer picked up for the Bruisers. Momentum kind of swinging their way right now.
At the back of the pack, Chronic took a forearm penalty, shoving Ohio a little bit, but effective nonetheless. Ohio was recycled back to the pack and now is a good 3/4 of the track behind.
Belfast gets through, picks up her points, takes a look, calls it off. Robert Blind heading to the boxes is going to start. It's 2-2 in the pack in the next jam.
Want to do another shout out to more of the sponsors for this Quad City Chaos in Toronto.
Where'd we be without them?
Would like to thank Radar Wheels, the MVP awards that will be handed out after the final game today. are provided by Radar Wheels. Radar Presto is proud to sponsor the Quad City Chaos. Radar Presto. Say, those are nice. There's no way to read that copy without sounding a little bit creepy.
Yes, you did a good job. You did as good as you could. All right, number 7, Chevy Chaser getting pounded around by Gunmole, Mindy, and Beth Rav at the back of that pack, and that is allowing time for the Sexpos Jammer to get through and pick up lead. Trying to see who that is as she comes around turn number 4. Chevy Chaser is through, approaching the pack now. Points picked up. Calls it off just in time as Chevy Chaser comes up to the back of the pack, runs into Gunmole Mindy.
Justin Powers picking up the 4 points for the Sexpos.
66-61 remains the 5-point lead for the Bruisers. Ohio now out there to jam against Sneaky D. Pack advantage shifting to the Sexpos, 4-2 for them. Machu Picchu and Misery May, the lone Bruisers blockers on the track.
Again, only 5 points separating them as we come up into this 12th jam. Just over 11 minutes remaining in the first period.
Ohio forces her way up to the front of the pack. She's got a 2-wall to beat. Misery May and Machu Picchu doing their best to hold her back. Now they're going to shift back and try to pull some offense, but Misery May being sent to the penalty box in a direction of gameplay.
Ohio is out in front. She is the lead jammer, looking to score some points as she makes her way up to the back of the pack now. Finds an inside line.
Slips through. Machu Picchu is concerned with trying to get Sneaky D through. Almost got her through, but she gets hit by Wonder Brat. Drawn all the way back to the back of the pack as another clean pass for Ohio.
That's another lead change.
It's early, but if you're playing the DNN drinking game, have a drink.
Irish coffee, you could do that.
Yeah, sure.
It's good times for that.
Ohio coming through for another pass, so a huge jam right here. All started with that pack advantage. Sneaky D, though, has finally gotten through and has passed her, and they're both going to come in and score. They may have both picked it up.
Ohio picked up 19 points there for the Sexpos on that jam.
A massive swing in momentum on that jam. It's suddenly now a 14-point lead for the Montreal Sexpos.
Hot cross guns jamming for the Sexpos.
That is, I believe, Lexicon based. I'm going to base that just exclusively on their stance, opening stance, on the 1234 jam line.
It looks like during her practices, some coaches said get low to her.
Yes.
She must have been 2 feet off the ground there.
It is her signature stance at the jam line. She's having a hard time with the back wall of Sexpos, but Hot Cross Guns is having no more luck with the front wall of Bruisers, and Jess able to drag her back. Android WK getting in on the action as well. Nice work, though, on the inside from Beth Rav, holding back Lexicon. Jess going one-on-one with Hot Cross Guns. Finally, Hot Cross Guns finds a seam, gets through. She is your lead jammer. Now, Lexicon getting dragged back once again by Beth Rav. Some great individual play from these B-team skaters. Some fantastic one-on-one skating. Finally, Lexicon gets through, but 5 more points have already been picked up by Hot Cross Guns to pad this Sexpos lead.
Being waved on by the bench.
Once more, putting a lot of faith in their defensive line, and this is a good defensive line with Magnum PEI and Beth Rav, both teammates on Les Filles de Wa.
Previously, yeah.
Previously.
Again, I'm not confident that Beth Rav is still skating with Les Filles de Wa.
They do have some experience together. Misery May trying to open up the outside lane. Could not do it for Lexicon. That's going to allow Hot Cross Guns to come through and pick up a few more points.
She completes her scoring pass for a grand slam.
On a nice helmet cover pass now executed by Lexicon, giving it to Android WK. The rookie who skates here in her house league team for the Death Track Dolls. Shrugs off a big hit from Beth Rav and gets through and picks up the points. 4 points for the Bruisers.
Those 4 points are immediately answered by Hot Cross Guns.
28 points now is a significant lead, and it's both on these natural Grand Slams. Jam has come to its natural conclusion.
2 more points picked up by Android WK just at the end of the jam.
Once again, the Bruisers have dug themselves a little bit of a hole. Joss Whelan out there on the line for the Bruisers. She It's their first bit of action of the weekend.
And I think it's Swing Labakais jamming in for the Sexpos.
Belfast goes outside, Swing Labakais goes in. Now both shifting positions, neither jammer finding any way out. Belfast finally sees an outside lane, takes it. First lead jammer status in 3 jams for the Bruisers, and boy do they need that. A cut coming up to Swing Labakais, a little bit of a momentum cut. She just couldn't stop herself from coming back inbounds.
And it's an unfortunate cut because it looks like she cut one of her own skaters.
Yeah, and it looked like she knew it was happening as it was happening too. She went right to the box. So once again, just as the Montreal Sexpos start to pull away, an opportunity presents itself for the Bruisers, and let's see if they can take it. Good defensive line out there for the Sexpos.
Gunmal, Mindy, Magnum, PEI, Beth Rav, and Lady J.
That's a lot more experience. Some of the most experienced players possibly in this game, actually, Gunmal, Mindy, and Lady J.
Lady J is one of the original members of Montreal roller derby,
yeah.
So she will have been skating at 7, 8 years now.
That's right. And I'm going to guarantee that there are some Bruisers on the track right now who hadn't heard about roller derby 7 or 8 years ago.
So I'll take this opportunity to talk about another one of our sponsors of here at Quad City Chaos, Neon Skates. Neon Skates, Neon Skates, Neon Skates. Ottawa, Montreal, skateneon.com.
Well done, sir. Also, I'd like to tell you that this timeout is brought to you by Jackson Skates. Jackson Roller is a Canadian company, skater-owned and operated, committed to engaging elite skaters in product development to ensure its boots deliver world-class performance. JacksonRoller.com. Big thanks to them for sponsoring our timeouts all weekend here at the Quad City Chaos. Little shift to the Bay Street Bruisers line. They're going to put out Belfast on this power jam. Toronto Roller Derby taking a timeout to adjust, talk about how they're going to handle this. Again, it was a very imposing defensive line, and I don't know if the previous jammer they had out there would have been the best matchup, but Belfast able to power her way through. Probably the only jammer, well, arguably capable of doing that against this defensive line.
She just ran right over Lady J.
This is Belfast's 3rd year with Toronto Roller Derby and her 3rd season with the Bay Street Bruisers. Also skates for the Misfit Militia in Alliston, Ontario. She is through, picks up 5 points.
Beth Rav sent to the box for a clockwise block.
Belfast coming around on her 2nd scoring pass here, trying to get Toronto back into it. Teams have been trading momentum. Look at that great defensive wall from Magnum PEI and Gunmal Mindy. No room for Belfast to go. Lady J orchestrating the defense, another direction of gameplay, penalty being called this time to Gunmal Mindy, and Belfast is through with 5 more points.
Swing Labakais comes out of the penalty box like a rocket.
Runs into Jess at the back of that pack with some nice one-on-one defense. Another great skater. Oh, and a power move from Belfast breaks through that 2-wall and picks up 5 more points. And just like that, Montreal within 10 points again.
Swing Labakais breaks through on her initial pass, becomes lead jammer, calls off the jam, trying to staunch the bleeding there.
Belfast had picked up a no pass, no penalty on her initial pass, which negated her ability to be lead jammer, but not her ability to score, and she put up 10 points on that one.
Justin Powers jamming for the Sexpos.
Chevy Chaser out there for the Bruisers. Big pack advantage for the home team.
Sexpos' only 2 blockers are Wonder Brat and Trash and Smash.
Machu beat you up to play some offense, and that helps Chevy Chaser get through and take lead jammer, but very close behind is Justin Powers. Chevy Chaser getting a look from her bench, decides to call it off with a lot of the Bruisers at the back of the pack.
Trash and Smash and Wonder Brat, both with Contrabanditas in their background. Never played together wearing the black and red. Trash and Smash had left the Contrabanditas to focus on new Skids play before Wonder Brat was drafted to the team.
And she's another original Montreal roller derby skater as well.
Yep.
Lexicon out there to jam against Hot Cross Guns. These guys have faced each other not only as Bruisers and Sexpos, but also as Bruisers and Royal when Hot Cross Guns skated for the Royal City Roller Girls. For the all-star team there. And if you want to talk to us, talk to QCC. Hot Cross's Guns former teammate Francesca Flure will be happy to answer your questions. Hot Cross Guns is through now, not lead jammer, as the Lexicon is picking up points. Gets through the pack, takes a look, calls it off. Bruisers within 6.
5-point difference separating them. Just back and forth the action so far in this first period. The frequency of the jams has picked up. We're going to line up for jam number 18 with just over 3 minutes left in this half.
And it is full packs, 5-on-5 roller derby. Ohio out there to jam against Sneaky D. And Ohio now playing a little defense on Sneaky D, drags her back and then takes another run at that defensive wall from the Bruisers. Sneaky D, though, does get in front, facing off against all 4 Sexpos.
Chronic with a good hit on Ohio, backed her up.
Chronic, the only former member of CN Power on this Bruisers team. Oh, and Ohio getting past Robert Blind at the front of the pack. She's your lead jammer, but Sneaky D, who is very fast, has about a half a track to make up. Let's see if she can do it. Good defensive position at the front of the pack for the Bruisers, and that's going to allow Sneaky D to sneak in at the back, and both jammers are going to pick up points here. Just a matter of how much.
Ohio picks up all 4.
2.
Toronto picks up 2.
For Sneaky D. 7 points is the difference. It was close to that at halftime last night of the CN Power Skids game. Seeing the same thing play out here with, again, Montreal holding that lead.
Justin Powers jamming for Montreal.
Oh, and a cut from Justin Powers right on Annguard. I do not think Justin Powers even knew her skate went out of bounds. And Annguard just took one little step back. Power jam for the Bruisers here late in the first half, an opportunity to perhaps swing the momentum into their favor going into the break. I'm assuming with this power jam, unless the Bay Street Bruisers jammer also picks up a penalty, this will be the last jam of the half.
Another 5 points.
2-point game now. 1:20 left on the jam clock. Chevy Chaser quickly back around the pack, but it's a 4-wall of Sexpos up at the front in the nice defensive position. Annguard WK goes in, tries to mess things up with a little bit of offensive blocking.
She's got at least 1.
Nice move.
2 points there. And she gets backed up and recycled to the back of the pack in turn number 3.
But I believe we have a tie game.
As soon as this pass is completed.
Helmet cover pass now. Annguard WK accepting the star, but she gets knocked to the inside, stands up, notices that Gunmall Mindy. Very heads-up play by Annguard, noticing that the blocker who'd hit her out received a penalty.
A low block called on Gunmall Mindy, and that is a lead change.
And Annguard WK now pushing at the front of that pack, gets through, picks up the 5.
Justin Powers is out of the box. Completes her initial pass.
The Bruisers will take a lead into halftime. They've only led twice in this game so far.
15 seconds remaining in the jam.
4 more points picked up now, but oh, and Justin Powers, another cut, sends her to the box, which means the Bruisers will continue this power jam to begin the second half. Oh, big hit. At the end of that jam, I didn't see who it was, a Sexpos skater with the hit.
The Bay Street Bruisers stretched the lead out to 11 points.
Unbelievable. That was Wonder Brat with that big hit at the end of that jam. Unbelievable first half here. Back at the bunker at the QCC2014. They're living up to the expectations that were set so high last night by their 18 counterparts. Bruisers up by just 12 points. Slight adjustment there to the score.
I love the fact that this has become the great Canadian rivalry in roller derby. It's now hitting both levels of play. It's going to carry on at the Beast of the East when the home teams meet, and again, CN Power and the new Skids happen. I'm super excited that this is happening here at Quad City.
Yes, it's been an amazing weekend and a nice story too, seeing that Montreal's dominance, which is still there. They're still clearly the top team in this nation, but the rest of the teams are nipping at their heels.
It's super exciting. I'm so happy that it's happening and it's competitive and it's Canadian. And can't wait for the second half of this bout.
Well said. On behalf of Single Malt Scott and the Tour TV crew, the Derbiner will be back in 13 minutes for the second half. Do not miss it. Coming up. Welcome back, everyone, to the Quad City Chaos 2014. I'm the Derby Nerd here with Single Malt Scott. Just before this half gets underway, I want to take an opportunity to thank, of course, Layer 9 for the help, Scova Notion on the mixer today, and we also have Jesse Wilson, Wheels of Misfortune, and the Annguard on-air cameras, and Francesca Flure is providing you with your text cast for this afternoon's bouts. So thank you again to all. This is a volunteer-run, of course, organization and boatcast. So thanks for tuning in and showing your support. So, the end of that half, Bruisers run a little bit of a run, picked up a power jam that is carried over into the second half. They have a 12-point lead, their biggest lead of the game so far, and Belfast is jamming it.
She's already out in front. She is the lead jammer. She's completed her initial pass, and she's looking to pick up some points now.
And Belfast, a tenacious jammer, gets by Magnum PEI at the top of that pack. As I mentioned, she also plays on the excellent Misfit Militia Roller Derby out of Alliston, Ontario, and the Death Track Dolls in Toronto Roller Derby's House League. So this is a skater who plays a lot of roller derby.
Montreal's got all 4 blockers out now that Gunwall Mindy has finished her penalty.
And Misery May and Chronic doing a nice job of attempting to trap Gunwall Mindy, which is no easy task. And that jam comes to its conclusion as Belfast sees the jammer stand up. Power start now for Toronto, 127 to 105. Honey Boom Boom standing along with Justin Powers, the jammer for the Sexpos. I'm going to have a feeling that no lead is safe in this game. So far, no lead has been.
Yeah, Montreal came out a little bit stronger, picked up a bunch of points, stretched that lead out, but Toronto was able to chip away at it, and
now they've stretched it out. Sexpos led by as much as 30, just over 20-point lead now for the Bruisers. So these teams showing that they are every bit as equal as their 18 counterparts. Lexicon breaks through. She's your lead jammer. An important pickup for the Bruisers as they try to maintain a lead here. All 4 blockers back on the track. 4-3 pack advantage for the Bruisers as Lexicon comes in to score.
Wonder Brat just sent to the penalty box for Montreal.
Oh, nice defense. At the back, Jess is going to come in and try and open up an inside lane. She cannot do it. Claire O'Key. Oh, Claire O'Key and Trash and Smash working well to get the cut on Lexicon.
It is a power jam now for Montreal. Justin Powers on her scoring pass.
Another thing we saw last night were the Skids and CN Power trading power jams, which is what the Bruisers and Sexpos have been doing this game as well. But nice with Trash and Smash being sent off with another back block call.
And Justin Powers completes her first scoring pass for 5 points.
Good defense from the Bruisers. All 4 of them are on the track. Android WK is your pivot. Just Jess at the back of the pack. Tushy Galore trying to hold the inside. Honey Boom Boom holding the outside. Now Tushy just gets her out of bounds, and that's going to force her back.
So this will be one of the younger lineups of skaters you'll see from Montreal. Justin Powers jamming, Claire O'Key and Swing Like Bacchus blocking out there, and as star pass happens, Swing La Bacchus now wearing the star for the Sexpos.
Running into Just Jess, Tushy Galore, some nice defense, finally able to push her way through. Another 5 points on the board, so once again, Toronto had built a little bit of the lead, but Montreal is chipping away at it. Lexicon back on the track. A 1 to beat at turn number 2. Can she get around on the outside? She cannot. And that jam comes to its conclusion. That jam was brought to you by Jack in the Socks. It doesn't matter whether your socks match or not. At Jack in the Socks, their mission is to banish plain, boring socks from sock drawers everywhere. I only own plain, boring socks. I definitely need to take a trip to Jack in the Socks. And you can actually buy online, too, at jackinthesocks.ca.
Again, some amazing socks they have in that booth.
That Larry Bird 3-pointer socks you were telling me about. Excellent.
I also saw a pair of socks online last night. Utah Jazz. Karl Malone on one sock, John Stockton on the other.
Nice. In the roller derby action, Hot Cross Guns is your jammer for the Sexpos, and she is facing off against a 3-wall at the front of the pack. Chevy Chaser having some troubles at the back of the pack with some heavy Sexpos defense, and it is Sexpos jammer with lead jammer status. Chevy Chaser does get out, trying to stay on her feet, and she might be swallowed back up by this pack. Nice heads-up play. But Chevy does get through. Sneaky Devil, nice heads-up play to catch Chevy Chaser, who'd fallen.
Montreal picks up 3 points on that one. Slowly chipping away at the lead, now cut to 8 points.
130 to 122. Bethrav jamming against Sneaky D. Both of these jammers have picked up back blocking penalties in the first half. They're both pretty aggressive jammers.
Yeah, Bethrav is the type of jammer that really likes to walk her way through the pack. Doesn't want to really go side to side.
Yeah, and she doesn't really need to. Phenomenal skater, also incredibly powerful. Sneaky D also electing to go right through the middle. She is a little bit more of a jukey skater. She loves to work in, out, inside and out. Lady J getting a shoulder up.
Bethrav makes her way through. She's the lead jammer from Montreal.
Sneaky D, though, hot on her tail about 40, 50 feet back and making up a lot of track with every stride. Bethrav coming in to score. Pushes through on the inside just as Sneaky D comes in, and Sneaky D steals 3 points, 3-3 jam. That is the strength of Sneaky D. She is so fast, and she can sneak up without anyone seeing and nab points. Tilu didn't like the call, though. She's asking for an extra point. Four-3 pack advantage. Oh, sorry, yes, 4-3 pack advantage. Swing Lebakais out to jam for the Sexpos against Belfast for the Bruisers.
Swing Lebakais cuts through very quickly but gets knocked down.
Misery May with a big hit. Robert Blind and Machu Picchu getting a little wrapped up at the front of the pack, though, and that allows her through.
Sneaky Devil sent to the penalty box.
Belfast almost through. Oh, and it looked like there's going to be a little jammer-on-jammer action, but Sexpos electing to call that one off.
The lead is now 3 points for the Bay Street Bruisers.
Wow, I have a feeling it's going to be one of those games that comes down to who makes the least amount of mistakes. Right now, both packs depleted. It's 2-2. There you see the full penalty boxes. Pivot for the Sexpos in the box. So 2-2. Hot Cross Guns and Lexicon. Gumball Mindy goes down. That may be an opportunity for Lexicon to get through, but a nice hit from Lady J, the experienced blocker.
Hot Cross Guns out in front. She is the lead jammer. She's got about a quarter track lead. Both jammers having completed their initial passes.
Oh, and a nice hit from Android WK. Forces the call off just as Lexicon approaches the scoring pass. No points on the board for either.
3 points.
3 points, sorry.
Picked up for Hot Cross Guns. It is a tie game again.
She did pass one skater, picked up 2 for the box points. And now we have a tie. That's a tie. Unbelievable. So we've seen
38 minutes have gone by so far, and it's a whole new game, just starting over.
0-0. We've seen the Sexpos have a 30-point lead that they lost. We just saw the Bruisers have a 23-point lead that they've lost. Unbelievable play from both of these teams. Nice hit from Chronic, forcing the jammer back. Chevy Chaser trying to work the front of that pack. Nice defense, though, from both of these micro packs, but it is going to be the Sexpos once again getting lead jam, but Chevy Chaser again also out. Justin Powers takes a look at her bench. Gets a notification. Chevy Chaser making up some track as they approach on their scoring passes on the second straightaway. Went through, called it off. There's going to be some discussion with the outside pack ref on whether or not any points were picked up by the Sexpos jammer as she was calling it off. Looked to me like she straddled the line, never was fully in. Yeah, and no points being awarded.
That tie is still standing.
All of the blockers now standing, though, so at some point, hopefully in this jam, we will see 5-on-5 roller derby.
Alcatraz and Wonderbrats, the 2 blockers out there for Montreal. Probably the smallest lineup they've put out.
Sneaky D trying to come back in behind the blocker, even though she went down, so that she wouldn't negate her ability to get lead jammer status. Let's see if she did that. She did. So smart heads-up play by the B-team jammer to make sure she was still eligible to be lead jammer.
Sneaky Devil. Swing Lebakais has also completed her initial pass. She's about quarter track back of the pack.
Sneaky D comes in, gets a few points, calls it off.
The lead goes back to Toronto.
2 points picked up. 135 to 133. 10 minutes into the second half.
There we get a look at the Sugar Bomb penalty box.
Yes. Sugarbomb.ca, that is Android WK, the Bruisers pivot in the Sugar Bomb penalty box.
Hot cross guns on the line for Montreal.
And that is Lexicon, number 25 in the blue for the Bay Street Bruisers.
She started a few steps back off the line. Hot cross guns out in front. She is the lead jammer.
Lexicon having a hard time. Nice little offensive pop by Misery May. Briefly opened up a line, but again, this line led by the experienced Lady J, doing a great job to get back to the front of that pack.
4 points picked up by Hot Cross Guns. She's in a foot race.
Oh, and Hot Cross Guns sneaking around. And what is the scoring going to be on this one? 1 point picked up for the Bruisers and 5 picked up.
You know, I don't get it. It was.
How did you get 5 points in?
She had managed to lap
okay.
the jammer just on that foot race.
Okay. Like
a little risky though. Like why wait until you entered the engagement zone to call it off?
Yeah, true. Why not? Yeah, if you're just going to call it off before you hit the pack. Good point.
So a lead change on that last jam. Montreal now back on top, 142 to 136.
I'd like to do a quick shout out to our sound man, Clemson. He couldn't be here this afternoon. He will be back eventually, but he's our excellent longtime sound man here in Toronto Roller Derby, and I know that he is watching. So hey to you. All right, underway here. Another pickup for the Sexpos. Momentum is heading in the Sexpos direction right now.
Ohio is the lead jammer. Creeping up on the engagement zone.
Finally, Belfast able to make her way through. But Ohio taking a look, looking at the bench. Tilu is, again, going to let her keep going. They both come into the pack. Ohio and Jess collapsing at the back, the big hit.
Giving up 2 more points to Toronto. I spoke a little bit with some of the skaters at halftime, asking them about that strategy. They understand that it's high risk, high reward, looking to try to force the other team's jammer to make a mistake, tire them out, really intentionally hoping to pick up a power jam.
Yeah. And, you know, I do see that, I've seen it work too for the Sexpos, especially when they have a big lead, but in situations like this where it's so tight, I just wonder if that risk is where it could come down to 2 points. That 2-point steal there could make a difference in a game that is this close. Official review has been called, I believe, by Toronto. It hasn't been indicated on the board yet, but Flying Brian was the first skater into the center of the track, and an official review is called, so I'm going to assume it's going to the Bruisers. I didn't see. Yeah.
No, go.
I didn't see anything that would warrant an official review, but
not 100% sure. We'll get word to you as soon as we can. We're going to take this opportunity to talk about another one of our sponsors here, Inspiration Vintage. Before you get your knickers in a knot, come on over to the Inspiration Vintage booth for some fun. If you're coming in, you can come to the booth. Otherwise, if you're watching at home, you can be sure to check them out at inspirationvintage.ca.
You know, and while we're at it, why don't we thank rollerskating.ca too. Trusted national online provider since 2005. The local skate shop in Woodstock, Ontario sells and services all major roller skates and derby brands and offers over 30 years of real-world quad skating experience.
Yeah, check them out online.
Yeah, rollerskating.ca.
Just really open a new tab. There's no reason to stop listening to us to go to that website.
That's right. During these timeouts, there's nothing to see here.
We have the technology. We live in the future.
The future is now. So if you're just tuning into the Quad City Chaos, shame on you, because you missed an amazing day of roller derby yesterday that concluded with a 17-point victory for Montreal's new Skids on the block over CN Power, 233 to 216. If you're watching this game because you're a B-team fan, well, yesterday's B-team showdown was between Ohio's Gangrene and the Bay Street Bruisers. The Bruisers took that one 304 to 94. And this is our second of 2 regulation B-team games at the Quad City Chaos. It's become a nice staple of this event, just beginning last year. And this, of course, is the first fully sanctioned WFTDA D1 tournament. We'll have 2 sanctioned games coming up after this. 1 o'clock you will tune in and you will see the Montreal New Skids on the Block versus the Bleeding Heartland Flatliners. Bleeding Heartland had a rough opening day of QCC 2014, so they'll be looking to bounce back in what will be a challenging bout for them against Montreal. And then our final game of this year's Quad City Chaos will be the hosts, CN Power, continuing what has been a very fascinating rivalry against the Ohio Roller Girls out of Columbus.
Yeah, CN Power coming into this weekend was ranked 29th.
Yep.
Ohio was ranked 22nd.
Yep. I have a feeling there's going to be some shifting.
Just from the events of this weekend already that have transpired, there's going to be some shifting. So a key game in Division I top 40 play to round out this weekend.
That'll be an interesting one. 45 points was the difference between those two teams here last year for Ohio. See if Toronto can get the revenge.
And the action's back on the track right now. The pack is not moving at all.
Just getting an update from Bonesy Adams. He is our announcer ref. There was an official review about a jammer penalty to the Sexpos, and the review was actually accepted, and the penalty was given. However, Chevy Chaser just picked up a penalty of her own, so we're going to negate those power jams and just get back to roller derby. Yeah,
that frees up Ohio out of the box, but Chevy Chaser's not going to be sitting there for very long.
No.
Ohio makes it through. She's the lead jammer.
Chevy Chaser, though, is skating. Ohio coming up on her scoring pass. Chevy Chaser yet to get through in an initial pass, so she will need to do that before she can score. Ohio gets through on the outside, picks up the points, calls it off. 5-point pickup.
13 points now the difference. Montreal on top of Toronto. Montreal has yet to use any of its timeouts, still has their official review. Toronto has used their official review and used one of their timeouts with 16 minutes, 45 seconds remaining in this bout.
So a little bit of a lead now opening up. 13 points for the Sexpos once again. We've seen both these teams build leads and lose them, though, so don't go anywhere yet. Sneaky D with a nice little one-foot move around turn number 1 to pick up the lead, and that's the first lead and a few jams for the Bruisers as they try to get back into this game. Honey Boom Boom with a nice little hip hit, but couldn't quite push out the strong Sexpos jammer, Justin Powers. Sneaky D picking up points. Justin Powers quickly approaching the pack. Sneaky D calls it off. Did she do it in time? She did. And picked up 3 points.
Belfast and Hot Cross Guns grab the stars and line up the jam line.
3-3 in the pack. Sorry, that is a 4-3 pack advantage for the Bay Street Bruisers. Joss Whelan hidden away there on the inside of the line. It's Misery May outside in front of Swing Labakais. Both jammers trying to get through that back wall. Hot Cross Guns get through first. Belfast with a nice little juke to get by the wall. Gunmole Mindy, though, holding that inside, and lead jammer goes to Hot Cross Guns. Nice hit from Misery May, opens up the line for Belfast, who is also through, but has a half a track to make up as Hot Cross Guns come in on her scoring pass. Breaks through, takes a hit, calls it off. Did she? She did call it off just in time.
Picks up 4 points now. The lead is 14. Again, back and forth.
Back and forth, and that is a tenuous 14-point lead at the halfway point of this game. That's Ohio back on the line against Lexicon. Bethrav is your pivot for the Sexpos. 5-on-5 roller derby as the penalty box. The Sugar Bomb penalty box is empty. Lexicon being held at the back. Ohio getting up to that front wall. Both teams electing to play all D. Chronic trying to knock Ohio out of bounds. Ohio, nice strength to stay in bounds and finally pushes through. Android WK and picks up another lead jammer, but right on her tail is Lexicon. Both jammers just powering through those strong defensive walls. Oh, and Ohio able to tiptoe around the corner, and whoa, 4-1, excuse me. Big steal for Lexicon. Flying Brian back in the middle. He's been in the middle a lot of this game so far. He's going to have to watch it as this jam is about to get started. And Justin Powers, who's really been jamming more and more as this game has gone on against Chevy Chaser. Montreal getting that favorable setup at the back. Oh, Chevy Chaser with a nice little move to break through that wall, and lead jammer goes to the Bruisers as Chronic knocks Justin Powers out of bounds, and Misery May drags her back. Big opportunity here for the Bruisers. Chronic once again working on the lines.
Chevy Chaser's already lapped the Montreal jammer.
However, the Montreal jammer does get through. And Chevy Chaser calls it off as she gets knocked to the inside, but it's going to be another 4-point pickup for the Bruisers.
Unable to clear Wonderbrat, but picked up that 4th point for having lapped Justin Powers earlier in the jam.
Hot Cross Guns, number 9 out there against number 21, Sneaky D. This is a great matchup. Two very similar style jammers. Sexpos have been owning that the 12:34 skate line this half, been able to get there and set up that strong defensive wall at the back. And that does allow Hot Cross Guns to break through to the front. Sneaky D now at a disadvantage behind Russian Cruellette, Beth Rav, and Trash and Smash. Swing Lebakais opens up the inside. A nice move by the pivot to allow her through, but Sneaky D also through. And we've seen, this may be the only jammer that Sneaky D will not be able to catch. Across Guns runs into Just at the back of that pack, and Sneaky D able to sneak in. Oh, and a big hit from Android WK. And that allows Sneaky D to get through and pick up all 4 points. Oh, and 1 foot. Across Guns staying on her feet. Also picks up
getting waved on.
It's 4-4 right now, but Sneaky D is already back in the pack and picking up points. And she's through.
And I gotta question that strategy. Those points could have been prevented.
Again, high risk, high reward. Although the rewards are not evident here, as all of a sudden Sneaky D now is coming around and finally forces that off. It's going to be an 8-4 jam for the Bruisers.
Yeah, again, I gotta question Montreal's strategy there. They could have prevented those last 4 points and kept a 7-point lead, but they waved their jammer on, and now the lead is cut to 3.
That's right.
It's strange.
Strange. It has worked sometimes, but I guess that's the risk you take. Belfast now out there against Ohio. Sexpos really tightening up their jammer rotation this half. Bruisers sticking with the game plan. And Ohio having a lot of success here, especially in the second half. Belfast able to absorb a hit from, oh, I thought that was Lady J, but it's not. Both jammers through. Ohio getting knocked to the inside, decides to call it off. Nice defense from Machu Picchu, and nothing on the board for either jammer there. 3 points.
3 points, 10.5 minutes.
This could be a big difference in this game, too. 2 blockers for the Bruisers in the penalty box. Montreal has been very, very strong when they have the pack advantage. When they did chip away, had a big 15-point jam early in this half. It was not a power jam. It was just a big pack advantage that they were able to work.
Justin Powers cycles around, takes the outside of turn number 1, and gets the lead jammer.
And Lexicon knocked to the inside. She's going to get dragged all the way back of the first straightaway. So once again, we are seeing this big pack advantage acting somewhat like a power jam for the Sexpos.
Justin Powers able to lap the pack and pick up a grand slam.
And Lexicon having no luck at all getting through that tough defensive wall.
Russian Cruellette, Wonderbrat, Gunmall Mindy.
Wow, Gunmole Mindy went in. Oh, and Russian Cruellette with a high hit on Lexicon is going to send her to the box.
Clockwise penalty there.
The penalty parade continues now. The Sexpos, though, running into some penalty trouble as Lexicon gets out. Android WK with some nice defense on Justin Powers, but boy, the damage was done. And again, that massive pack advantage working to the Sexpos' favor. Suddenly the lead is 13 points again. Sorry, 17 points after that adjustment.
Good 14 points picked up there by Justin Powers.
And now let's see if Toronto can use the pack advantage to their advantage here. There are two Sexpos in the box.
Trash and Smash and Beth have lined up right on the pivot line.
Oh, a big hit from Machu Picchu right off the start, off the 12:34 jam line.
Oh, Beth Have just ran right into a hit. Had her head facing the wrong way. Hot Cross Guns makes her way through. She's the lead jammer.
Both jammers got recycled there quite a bit. Chronic heading to the penalty box now for the Bruisers. Hot Cross Guns coming up on her scoring pass. Sneaky D sneaking around too, and she's going to pick up points as well. Once again, we're seeing. And Sneaky D actually able to lap Hot Cross Guns. She will pick up. Well, no, White 4 points picked up for.
Lead is unchanged.
Lead
still
is unchanged. Yeah, 4-4. Okay. And now we have 2 and 2 in the box, so it'll be 2-2 on the start. Sneaky Devil, always the lone blocker to start, as there is a skater standing in the Montreal box, so it's going to be a 2-1 brief pack advantage. And Belfast is able to break through on the inside. Swing La Bacaille is being held nicely by 737 Android WK.
Swing La Bacaille sent to the penalty box for a forearm. It's a power jam for Belfast.
And with no blockers on the track, this is very timely, and Belfast is probably the exact jammer they would want. She is the most experienced jammer here on the Bay Street Bruisers. 3rd year with the B team.
She makes her way past Russian Croulette and Sneaky Devil. Wonderbrat comes out of the penalty box to rejoin her Montreal teammates at the front of the pack.
So they will have a pack advantage on the defense here. Working well as Belfast gets momentum, pushes her way to the outside. And now she is pushing this wall. They're within 7 points. Nice little inside sweep to open up the line, and Belfast gets through and picks up 5 more points. We've got ourselves a 2-point game, 6.5 to go. Full packs for each team now. Misery Man went to fake a block. It did shift the jammers just enough. Belfast has a little bit of a hole. Trying to pull it as the blockers go out of play. Las Vegas
with another
big hit.
Another big hit.
She's had a few big hip checks this game. Timeout being called now by the Sexpos to stem this flow as Toronto picks up the momentum.
Yeah, 15 points scored by Toronto on that last jam. Cuts the lead to just 2.
Oh, there it is. The points just being adjusted, put onto the board. The jam ref went in to confirm, and we have
a tie, baby.
Wonderful.
6 minutes left on the clock. More points being added for Toronto now.
Oh, yes, never mind. A lead change. Toronto back into the lead. And there's still lots of time. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a few more. This lead change is brought to you by Nerd Roller Skates Incorporated. I just realized I kept on pushing Nerd Roller Skates. I have absolutely nothing to do with Nerd Roller Skates. I'd like to make that clear. They're based in Calgary, but they are running a little bit of a contest. If you send a tweet to @NerdSkates this weekend with the hashtag QuadCityChaos, they'll enter you in a draw to win a $50 gift card. Nerd Roller Skates is based out of Calgary, but you can see them online at nerdskates.com. That timeout was brought to you by Jackson Skates. Whew. 6 minutes, Scott. The second B team matchup of the weekend.
Again, a significant bout, a bout of pride. Teams that really, really want to win and have been in great competition. I'm super excited again. I've enjoyed watching these two teams skate, and you can see them being products of their respective systems.
Yep.
We're in Montreal and in Toronto.
This allows us a glimpse of the future of the top level A teams of Toronto Roller Derby. 4 points picked up for Ohio, and no risk taken here by the Sexpos with the packs all evened up. She's going to call it off. Lead change, 182 to 180 now for Montreal.
2-point lead just flips to Montreal.
And 1 blocker in the box. That is the pivot.
Wonderbrat.
Justin Powers? Wonderbrat. Thank you. Again, Montreal, though, does have that black line. Clara O'Kee, Beth Rev, and Gunmole Mindy, an imposing defensive wall. A nice, my favorite jammer matchup of this game so far, Hot Cross Guns and Sneaky D.
Everyone goes tumbling.
Oh, and Gunmole Mindy, slow to get up. They went chest to chest with Sneaky D.
Gunmole Mindy is skating in her first bout with the Sexpos since coming back from a broken leg. Surgery, steel implants.
Wow, a late cutting call on Hot Cross Guns. Sneaky D had already picked up lead jammer, so this jam is now in Toronto's control with only 4.5 minutes to go, and they've just retaken the lead. But it is nice to see Gunmole Mindy back, especially for fans of who were so familiar with her playing in Tri-City here in Southern Ontario. She did work the bench for the Sexpos last year.
Yep. So not even her first appearance in Quad City Chaos. She had been here with Tri-City before.
Yep, that's right.
Back at the hangar.
That's right, skating with the Thunder. And Sneaky D picking up a lot of points. Toronto has built a slight 8-point lead here now with 4 minutes to go, but great defense. Clara O'Kee last line at the front of that pack, and Sneaky D stays in bounds though, gets around, and out of play call on Clara O'Kee, and that gives the pack advantage now to the Bruisers. Huge moment in this game. We did talk about it, Scott, how it may come down to mistakes being made, and was this the fatal error? And Gunmole Mindy unhappy about something. She's also being sent to the penalty box. That will continue the pack advantage for Toronto.
That leaves. Montreal's got to pay attention to their penalty box. They've got too many skaters on the track right now.
Yep, they
and
do.
They see that, they wave off Sneaky Devil.
And Lady J and Trash and Smash, though, the two most experienced skaters on the Sexpos, are out there in this very high-pressure situation. Lexicon jamming for the Bruisers. They've got a full pack.
Probably the two most experienced skaters on the track.
Yes, in the game.
In the game. Hundreds of games between just the two of them of experience.
And Hot Cross Guns is back, but having no luck getting by. Strong defense from Chronic and Machu Picchu. The Bruisers coming up with a strong defensive performance here late in the game. Nice work by Guns, though, to juke and jive her way through, and she is out. Lexicon just evades a big hit. Lady J, though, getting in on the action as well, but Lexicon stays up, gets through, calls it off. 4 more points for the Bruisers. 18 points now is the difference. Sorry, 22 points. This ties their largest lead of the game.
A timeout is called by the Bay Street Bruisers.
I think that's the Montreal Sexpos on the board.
Taking a look at the officials to see where they're pointing. Timeout, Bay Street.
It is Bay Street, yes. All right. Our scoreboard's just a little slow to get caught up with that. Both teams talking. Wow, 22 points now is the difference. As we say, that the Sexpos did have a 30-point lead at one point in the first half. This equals the 22-point lead that the Bruisers had earlier in this half. But a penalty coming at an opportune moment.
The way that this game has gone, even with only 2.5 minutes left, is 22 points enough? Yeah. Toronto has to be aware of that, and they've got to not rest on their laurels.
No lead has proven to be enough so far in this game.
Non, ça continue. C'est Ohio pour Montréal. Sur la ligne contre Belfast pour Toronto. Sneaky Devil et Magnum PEI, les seuls bloqueurs pour Montréal.
Pivot is Android WK for the Bruisers, along with Just Jesh and Tushy Galore. And Belfast out there to jam for the Bruisers. Ohio outside, Belfast in. Belfast now working Magnum PI in the 2-wall on the inside. Oh, and falls. That's going to allow Ohio to take an outside lane. Belfast, though, is your lead jammer. Last hit from Android WK may have just saved that jam. And Ohio now gets the power jam as Lexicon heads to the penalty box on a low block call. Oh, and Ohio goes hot into that pack, and she's going to the penalty box. Oh. Both, no power jams here. They will both be negated.
Ohio was just given an insubordination penalty.
Oh, wow.
And that's got to be it right there. There's no coming back. There's not enough time in this game.
Was it something said? Did she say something to the ref? Wow. She's been so calm and collected all game, Ohio. A huge error with a minute. That's gonna do it. The Sexpos will, unless there's another error from Toronto jammer, and that's gonna do it. Because the rest of this game, the Sexpos will be without a jammer.
Gunmal Mindy called for a low block, and frustration starting to boil over on the track there.
Yeah. Wow, Belfast could just take it easy here if she wants, but I don't think Belfast knows how to do that. She can't help but struggle and fight. But really, the Bruisers could just skate this out.
She really, yeah, at this point, she really should just cruise out there.
Well, Scott, you know, we talked about it early on. We said who's going to make the final error, and the final error today goes to the Sexpos. And that's going to allow the Bay Street Bruisers to pick up a big win here. Again,
really drawing the parallel to the game that happened yesterday where the Montreal Jammer picked up a penalty and an insubordination for an extra minute when Greta Bobo did at the end of the game. And in this case, the penalty is too much to overcome.
It is. And in the case, too, last night with the Skids, they actually had the lead. So it was just a matter of hanging on. Whereas tonight, the Bruisers had the lead when the Sexpos made the error. So they didn't have the same privilege of just holding on to their lead.
Montreal has a jammer out at the jam line right now.
I did see, it seemed quick that she came out at the end of that, very end of that jam. Ohio came out of the box. An official review is being called. And
that gives us a chance to talk about one of our sponsors. Sponsor I haven't mentioned for a little while, Pivot Star. CN Power would like to give a big thank you to Pivot Star for those awesome jerseys. Pivot Star makes uniforms simple. No minimums, no wait times, no problems. High quality athletic jerseys that keep your focus on the game. Check them out at pivotstar.com. Also, my favorite hoodies in all of roller derby come from Pivot Star. Got just the stars on the side of the hood. I was like, that is so clever, and someone else thought of it. And you would think it would be so obvious, but no. Pivot Star hoodies, I love them.
That's Lulu Demon. She's a great skater. She's a great mind. She makes great clothes. Also like to thank Rumbling Rage Derby Shop. Rumbling Rage Derby Shop is a Canadian roller derby-owned company based in Barrie, Ontario. Their mission is to provide you with accessible, high-quality products to play roller derby. RumblingRage.com. Thanks to them. They're a big supporter here of the QCC and of roller derby in general. So the refs are conferring here. What a day it's been. As we said, we've got another game coming up for you at 1 p.m. Montreal's new Skids on the block against Bleeding Heartland's Flatliners. And then the tournament will conclude with Ohio's All-Stars taking on Toronto's CN Power. What a game it's been.
Penalties, definitely the downfall of the Sexpos. Taking a look at that whiteboard right now, and there's a lot of writing on the white side.
That's it, yeah. Definitely the penalties in favor of blue. All things being equal, the Sexpos seem to dominate for bigger portions of this game. But again, you can see the clean, comparatively clean play of the Bruisers maybe or will be the difference in this one.
Yeah, absolutely. The Bay Street Bruisers capitalizing on the opportunities there, and that's what you got to do to be a winner and be competitive and pick up those.
When opportunity presents itself, grab it.
Yep.
There are your in-house announcers, Bill Murray and, of course, Plastic Patrick. Both been with us all weekend. See, Joey.
Kind of opposite ends of the style spectrum there between Bill Murray and Plastic Patrick.
Just a little bit of an update there from Bonesy Adams, our ref official. He is telling us that there was an official review. They wanted a cut on the Blue Jammer on Belfast, a second cut on that last jam, but the call stands. And that's why we have this set up, Sneaky D and Hot Cross Guns, for what will be the final jam of this game.
27 seconds left on the bout clock. Oh, unless something very crazy happens to restart this jam, it'll be it.
And Sneaky D does get through and get lead, so the game is now in the hands of the Bay Street Bruisers. Hot Cross Guns is right on her tail. 7 seconds left. The bench.
Looking up at the clock.
Yep. And Sneaky D calls it off just as time concludes on the game clock, and that will be it. we believe.
Looking at the unofficial final, the score is the Toronto's Bay Street Bruisers 212 points, Les Sexpos de Montreal 185.
Very impressive. Toronto and Montreal came in here with two teams. The main event, of course, last night, and what was a phenomenal display of roller derby. The Skids come out on top, take the A-team game, but for the second straight game in a row, and the second time in the last 8 months, it's the Bay Street Bruisers able to pull it off over the Sexpos.
Yep. And it's like looking into the future of Canadian roller derby, watching this bout, and how much improved Toronto roller derby as an organization has become. Really encouraging, really exciting, and cannot wait for this rivalry to continue in the future.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, I think this sport is only as good as its best team, and we've been lucky for so many years to have Montreal really lighting the way and providing such a world-class level organization, playing an extraordinarily high level of derby that has forced organizations like Toronto, like Terminal City, like Rideau Valley, like Tri-City to do something to get up to that level. So Montreal has really brought the rest of the country to this elite level of roller derby.
It makes for great roller derby. It's fun to watch. And where we're at right now, it doesn't get better than this. So
it does not.
Yeah.
And on that note, Scott, we're going to conclude this game. But again, come back very shortly. We've got about 30 minutes to our next game at 1 p.m. Montreal Roller Derby's new Skids on the block against Bleeding Heartland's Flatliners. For Single Malt Scott and the Tour TV crew, I'm the Derby Nerd. Thanks for watching, and stick with us all afternoon.